you know, okay, let me put it in a question form. Are there some of the things that you growing up as Mark John, like you at some point you just sit down and you feel like you should ask yourself, basically about your life? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're watching us from. This is the first episode of the Teens POV podcast, and I told you I'll be bringing some of the amazing, valuable content for your life mentorship. And in the studio, I've got one of the most amazing, skilled personnel you'll ever meet. Mwacha aji introduce. I don't have to talk in Lugha Mama because it's a very sensitive part.
Kwanza umetulia mkaza hapo kwa content.
Ai, lazima kali.
Anyway guys, my name is Mark Jones, my name. I do a lot of things. So tunajua top of belly with Chase, you converse with my brother here. So my name is Mark and I'm pleased to be here to talk about one of the things that really affect the life of binadamu tu yote kama mimi na wewe.
The living thing. As long as you are living, you affected somewhere. So actually, there's this thing that I've always asked myself. Some of the serious questions that, as a human being, you should ask yourself. There are things that, as we grow up, we ought to ask ourselves. Like some of the serious things that, okay, let me put it in a question form. Are there some of the things that you growing up as Mark John, like you at some point you just sit down and you feel like you should ask yourself, basically about your life, just in general?
Either maswali ziko like zimepangana tu hivi. Of course, like generally kila mtu akona serious like real serious question where they have to ask themselves about life in general.
Yeah.
Kuna maswali mingi. Hata mzazi akaanza kutulia mbele, brother sioni kama kuna mpango na unapanga.
Well, actually, about I can categorize like this. There are things that we youths get to ask ourselves. A lot of things. So into the generation of now, the millennials and the Gen Zs. Mostly, we living in a time frame world where like you're supposed to achieve this at a certain age. You get. Mtu unagonga 28, 29, 50, 30. And then the parent ushaanza kupata pressure. Mbona ufanyi mambo? Why are you not doing this? But you see, it normally affects people. Like you get to ask yourself, okay, basically, what am I living for? You get.
Yeah.
But me, I've always gotten to a point where the moment you see someone is asking so many questions about himself, bro, wewe unaenda kwa depression mode. It's always good to share. It's always good to share. But the moment when you're just sitting down, you're like, nambona niko. By the in regardless to like your life or just general, mtu nafaa kujua like as a Christian basically, you've got basically your work to do. You get. There are these things that the moment someone is getting set up, already you taxed with something to do. So when basically someone is a Christian, you already know what am I supposed to do. What am I supposed to do in this period of this time? So I normally see it like in a way that the moment someone gets to ask a lot of questions, like the moment someone has to a lot of inclusive thoughts on his mind, and I think a depression mode. And tunakupoteza. But it's always good to share, and it's always good also to have a time range and plan yourself like this and this I want to achieve this and this I want to achieve this, because the moment you get to time frame your life, and the moment you get to like be like I want to do this before the time ends, avoid hizo mambo za kujiuliza sijui niko sawa ama nini. But that's how basically me I personally work. I'm like I have a time frame. I've been wanting to do podcasts from all along. Kabisa, all along I've been wanting like to get to converse with people and get to know people. That's why it's called Teens POV. What's their perspective about the daily life? So
don't miss you teen.
Actually, I consider someone a teen as long as hawajafika kwa the graceful age. In the grace period, that's 7, you are still a teen. You can be a parental teen.
So I think at some point in my life, one of the most serious question when you get kujiuliza. The other day I just met I have a friend of mine, she's nikatoto kadu. So we saw that the mother just passed.
Oh.
So
condolences to the family.
yeah, and I happen to have a light line of questions in my stories in Jipanga, but the most same question in Kuja really I heard about the demons of the mom is that like the fact ile sasa disability ali past trips sasa yeye ako happy. That's a very serious question, but a very serious question that any other human being, it doesn't matter the age bracket or the gender, it doesn't matter. That's a very serious question where mtu anafaa tu jiulize. Like immediately when you cross from this side to the other side.
Yeah.
Those are very serious questions that then people should ask themselves. Would I like a place to point?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are very. You hata general mobile ya pesa ama mobile ya career ama mobile za ndoa tuje kaka.
Tuweke tax.
Wewe unaweza na Mungu wako. Eka tax. So it's a basic question.
Yeah, it's a very
any other human we should ask themselves. And to you, after kujiuliza that's what unafaa kopia na answer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what about you? What's your take on it?
Basically, I mean, this thought came to me when I was 18. Actually, after like 18 years. When I was 18 years old, so I was like, that's the moment you realize, Lord, you're becoming old, you are alone, and then now onto the what affected me most. There's a time I lost my cousin, my favorite cousin. So that's the first. Actually, that question really hit me hard. Now my cousin is gone. Someone doesn't know like your time and all those things. The question was, right now you've closed your eyes. You're not into the earthly world now. From that time to whatever the next time you plan to open your eyes, if you hear the trumpet, that's it. So, like, where is like? It's even hard to answer it. Like, it's even hard to ask it because honestly, I normally ask myself, now what do happens? Where am I? Where am I going? But now, onto the believer's thought. Believers we normally believe that we're in the right place, right? Until the second coming of Jesus Christ. That means I'm talking from the perspective of a believer, someone who believes in Christ. Right now, my time has come. Like right now, we're conversing. In the next 2 minutes, you hear Brian Amanda. Now, as a believer, I'm in the next 5 minutes because no one knows the exact time we are talking to here. Now, the next question I should ask myself is, where am I going? Where am I going to be? Did I really make it up to the point where I'm at the right place? So that when the trumpet comes, the second coming of Jesus, I will be with him. That's on the believer's side. Obviously, I'm talking on the side of believers. That's a question that you, as a youth, should ask yourself. Because nowadays, we're losing a lot of youths. Honestly, a lot of youths from this generation, from 17 to age 29, a lot of them. Now, the question is, where are they going? Are they onto the good side, or are they the bad side, like waiting the judgment and all that stuff?
So basically, I think this question brings us to one thing about being born again, about receiving Kristo commission.
Yeah.
As an individual, as a friend,
exactly.
More a family, mimi na nyumba yangu. Yes, wewe na nyumba yangu tumwekee Mungu, yeye ina shida. Lakini wewe kivyako, yourself as an individual, you have to traverse the question, and I think the answer, that's just simple. Receiving Jesus.
Receiving Jesus.
Exactly. Hakuna kitu kingine by hakuna kitu kingine. There's no other answer that
yeah.
So anyway, that's just one of the questions. Kuna maswali zingine kadhaa about maybe some of these questions that people should ask themselves about general life. Kuna hata pan, okay, hiyo the answer ni moja.
Receiving Jesus.
So you know kuna answer bana. So maybe kuna hizo maswali zingine pia za hapo katikati before daddy.
Maybe this one question mark, nice one lazima leo nijibu. Disappointment. Disappointment. How do you overcome disappointment? Like, because at any other time, at any given time, most people get disappointed. Honestly, a lot of people get disappointed. Now, how do you overcome disappointment? It doesn't matter how disappointed you are. It can be a spiritual disappointment, just a life disappointment. Now, how do you overcome disappointment?
Disappointment kwa nini? Kuishi Kenya yenyewe ni disappointment. But Wakenya ni wazuri. Okay,
That-
of course, Kenya is a very
Yeah,
country,
Kenya is a very
but-
beautiful country.
and you have to go to the leadership is really trying their best to ensure that everybody and another. So you're disappointed that there are in very many, I think, different ways. Kuna mwingine anaweza vunjwa moyo. Kuna siku nyingine I was walking usiku around I don't know, saa 3 hivi. So this was a little bit absurd, fun at the same time, a little bit emotional. So ikaona mtoto sana alikuwa anatembea, alikuwa mbele yangu. So sasa anatembea, nilikuwa nimesimama. Saa 3 mtoto mdogo around I think alikuwa 7 years hivi, alikuwa mtoto msana. So nikakuwa interested kwani amesimama angalia. Sasa alikuwa ana like she's facing a side ya kaduka kioski hivi. So pia nikasonga mbele nikaona I was interested to see what she was looking at. So nikasonga mbele nikapata alikuwa ni kakiozi alafu hiyo kioo imechorwa chapati alafu
Saa 3 usiku.
imechorwa chapati mandazi alafu imeko madogo. So kwa nini mtu anasimama anaangalia like michoro
tu ya chapati
kwa Kiingereza
drawings
like tortilla lentils and those things. It michoro chapati but ya kuja later on just kukilia mzee tu submit for that time break. This guy mtu wenyewe I think she was running like mtoto kusimama saa 3 usiku anaangalia tu chapati but she stood there for I think 3-5 minutes hivi. Amesimama tu. So later on I really felt bad that I made fun of that but it was disappointing to me that mtoto wenyewe she was really hakuwa anasikia vizuri like
exactly.
So life has been disappointing in very many ways. All the ages so and there are always solutions as equal all the time but at some point I don't know.
But honestly, what I've come to realize that disappointment normally comes from like you want to achieve something, or you want to do something, and it's just work against you. So how do you go when something doesn't work against you? Maybe I was planning to do something, and then all of a sudden I can be disappointed financially. I can be disappointed like from the support. So it's just basically when you want to do something and it works against you. So how am I going to work against this thing that's working against me?
Mark ameoga asubuhi aliitwa interview the previous week. So ilikuwa interview
Nilikuwa na interview.
Mimi nilikuwa na interview. Na zile siku yangu moja. Siko unajua.
Ndio wewe.
Alafu na hiyo siku juu nilikopa tai. So nikaenda ofisi.
So that you can tie up in the air. That's joke nikani.
No. Nikajitayarisha as usual and also of course presentable. So the panel, the interview, mimi nilikuwa in fact I was the only goober ndani ya suit. Nilikuwa nimejituele.
Umechana nywele proper.
Sawa, the brush and so that. And I was just but in general I was decent. So the interview with the guys and akaniambia thank you for the interview, thank you for the time that you spent coming here but we'll call you.
I knew it. I was waiting for the bus that will call you.
I'm still waiting for that call. 7 years down the line.
So you can reverse call.
So of course that is one of the things that
disappointment. But now how did you come? How did you like obviously if someone is alcoholic and it's past given period of time you just very much sure that he can really back. How did you overcome it?
Of course as for the next 2-3 weeks but you know maisha inaendelea.
So in short like if someone is actually disappointed, the first thing you should realize actually it's not the end of life. It's not the end of number one. Because disappointment is really bad. So many people have been disappointed educationally, family, relationship, anything to do with like a lot of people are going through disappointment in life. But now how are you going to work over it? Is number one you realize still actually it's like a fresh new start, a fresh mind start of your life.
It's like a ladder. Like push that hapa nyuma I was disappointed. I can do something. Like nowadays this is say nilikosa hiyo kazi. Just decide nilisort the old one. Like
this is on my town now. So you just have now to try and work at it like this one never worked out. This one never worked out.
This work out. Let me try this other one.
So that's what actually youths don't understand, because a lot of youths get disappointed because they get to be attached on that specific thing, on that one specific thing. So you find that most of the time, this thing that I'm attached to it, once I lose it, you feel like you've lost your life. Me, I'll tell you, like, bro, man, to someone who is watching, you still have a long way to go. Actually, disappointment is like a test for your life, movement. What's it that if these things come, if this thing come, how am I going to work over it? You get. So I normally believe. Actually, I love disappointment. To be sure, I love disappointment because that one is like kind of shaping my mind. What am I going to do next? This one never worked. So, guys, I'll just be like, I want to finish up the session of today, but it was really a good session with Mark. The main question we were asking ourselves was the serious things that you should ask yourself, mostly when your time comes and then you just close your eyes, you're not in the world. So you can tell us what you think into the comment section, and basically do the first episode